In this unit, we're going to look at dosages and solutions. Let's first discuss notation. If we see something written in this form, this means that we have 50 milligrams of medication per milliliter. Relatively standard form. If we write it in terms of a ratio, for example, if we write 1:5, this means that we have 1 gram of medication per 5 milliliters of solution. We can also write a percentage. For example, if we write 40%, that means that we have what? We have 40 grams of medication in 100 milliliters of solution. Another way we could write this is if we equate the two. For example, we could say 50 milligrams equals 2 cc's, which of course a cc is a milliliter. So again, this would mean 50 milligrams of medication per 2 cubic centimeters, which of course is the same thing, or 2 milliliters. Cubic centimeters and milliliters are the same. We will also have this notation. If we write U100, this is units per milliliter. So what this represents is 100 units of something. So 100 units of medication per milliliter. And finally, if we have something written this way, what does this mean? This is the number of milliequivalents per milliliter. So this means 20 milliequivalents, and we'll define that as we go along, per milliliter. So it's important for us to know what this means to get a feel for how these notations work. So let's look at an example. A doctor orders 50 milligrams of a medication The medication comes in a solution labeled (1 to 4). How many milliliters of solution will you administer? So we have to recognize what 1 to 4 represents. That means 1 gram of medication per 4 milliliters. So what this person is ordering, the doctor is ordering 50 milligrams. And we need to go ahead and convert that into milliliters. Well, our first step is going to be to convert milligrams into grams. Grams on top, milligrams on the bottom. And we know 1,000 milligrams is 1 gram. And then we see what our conversion is for grams to milliliters. We see 1 gram of medication is 4 milliliters. So we're going to write the 1 gram on the bottom of the fraction and the 4 milliliters on the top. So you'll notice as we cancel, as we divide out, milligrams goes away, grams goes away, and I'm left with milliliters. So doing that multiplication, what do we get? 50 times 4 divided by 1,000 is 0.2. So our answer here is 0.2 milliliters should be administered. Let's look at another example. The doctor orders 70 milligrams. The medication comes in a 20% solution. How many milliliters should be administered? If we're going to do this, we have to identify what the 20% solution means. So that would mean 40 grams, it would mean 20 grams of medication per 100 milliliters. Now, the doctor is ordering 70 milligrams. We have to convert that into milliliters. So the first step is going to be to convert what? To convert milligrams to grams. So let's put milligrams on the bottom, grams on the top. And we will say that we have 1,000 milligrams per 1 gram. Now what is our conversion? 20 grams of medicine is in 100 milliliters. We want to have milliliters on top because we want grams to go away. And our conversion is 20 grams corresponds to 100 milliliters. So if you'll notice, everything divides out and what's left is milliliters. So doing our multiplication, what do we see? 70 times 100 upstairs. Downstairs is 1,000 times 20. If we divide those out, we get 0.35. And milliliters is our unit of interest. So we'll say 0.35 milliliters should be administered. Okay, and let's do one more example. This time we'll say the doctor orders VII grains. The medication comes in a solution strength. Of 30 milligrams per cubic centimeter. How many cc's should we give? How many cc's or milliliters, remember they're the same, should we administer? So we know that we have 8 grains using the apothecary unit, so we need to figure out a conversion that will take grains to a unit that we can use. Using table 4, I will use the conversion that 64.799 milligrams equals 1 grain. You'll notice the textbook tends to use the less precise approximation. I prefer to use table 4 when I have an option. So we need to go ahead and convert 8 grains into cubic centimeters. So how can we do that? We are starting with 8 grains. And let's go ahead and convert from grains to milligrams. So we'll put grains on the bottom, milligrams on the top. 64.799 milligrams is 1 grain. And then our rule here is 30 milligrams per cubic centimeter. So we can go ahead and put milligrams on the bottom and cubic centimeters on the top. 30 milligrams per 1 cubic centimeter. And then we can go ahead and cancel out our terms that go away. We're left with cubic centimeters. So what we have here is 8 times 64.799 divided by 30, and we'll say 17.279, maybe 17.3 cubic centimeters should be administered.